9:05, I'll call this meeting to order, and if you will rise for the invocation, Pastor Steve Regini from Victory Outreach is going to lead us in the invocation this morning, and then we'll do the pledges.
Amen. If we could just have every head bowed and every eye closed this morning. Hallelujah. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come before you this morning, Master. We thank you so much, Father, for your grace. We thank you for your mercy, Lord. And Father, I pray right now that you would just fill this place, God. Master, with your anointing, with your presence, Lord, I pray that you would just give us guidance, direction this morning, my God, that you would give us wisdom, Father. Lord, that your perfect will would be done in each and every one of our lives and every decision that needs to be made this morning, Lord. And Father, we just are careful to give you all the honor and all the glory, Lord. And we'll forever give you the praise. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen, and amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you all for being here this morning. We have Commissioner Hernandez, Commissioner Gonzalez, and myself here. Commissioner Chesney is online. We do have a quorum. Commissioner Mades will be here within another 45 minutes or so. The date is February 23rd, Thursday. We are at 901 Leopard, the Nueces County Courthouse, and I certify there is a quorum present. Item D, do we have any disclosures of conflicts of interest?
No.
Not so far. If you do later on, we can always announce at that time. Item E, we want to present the certificates of recognition. And I believe D is going to read one first. The recognition of Constable Bobby Sherwood. It's 44 years of service to Nueces County. Oh, I have it here, sorry. We have a watch to present him. I know we have already talked to you last time you were here, so if I could get you to come down front and I get the commissioners to come with me, let's take a photo and present this with him,
Do we
please.
have a battery for the watch?
I don't know about that. Yeah, it's just us three. I don't think I'm ever going to be here 44 years to get one of these.
Hey, Bobby, in this picture, I'll always be looking over you.
Oh, I'm sorry, we lost video. We proudly present you with this watch, and thank you for your 44 years. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to recognize some people that are here today. My mom is here. My baby sister drove her down from College Station just to make sure I am retiring. So now I don't have any excuse not to go to College Station and see her. And her husband, Don, and I appreciate you all being here, I really do. My best friend, Claude, today.
Does he want a picture with his parents?
Yeah.
Yes, get your parents out.
Get everybody up there.
The oldest son's here, and his wife.
Come on.
Come on, guys, all my deputies are here. Please come up here and get this picture. Let's do family first, and I want to get all my deputies in there.
By your son. Yes, ma'am.
Get together and act like you like this.
How you doing?
No, I've got presets, you can't move it.
All right, here we go, everybody look to the front. Sound like a boss deal.
Once a boss, always a boss. One more, sorry.
I also want to acknowledge the fact that, my, largest support has been me through thick and thin. My wife, not here today, because she has medical issues and she's in a wheelchair and she thought it would be too tough. But I just want to shout out to her that she's the reason I've lasted this long, standing behind me. Also, Judge Neville's here with his wife, strong supporters of mine for years. We work together day to day in this office, and I'll always be grateful for that. Of course, all my deputies and here to support me, and I really appreciate that too. It's going to be a whole lot different. Not going down there and telling you guys what to do.
It's a fun time to pop in.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell them what to do. And then, I'll be at home and my wife can tell me what to do, so.
Can we get the deputies up here for a photo too?
Come on up here, Aaron, you're the biggest part of the department too. This is my administrative assistant, Aaron Johnson. When me and Claude put on the badge the same day. He left to go make real money and I stayed, but that's just how it works out. Yeah, we sit together in market too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, now we get out of here and they roll. Judge, Judge Barnes was the judge when I got elected. I've been through a lot of judges and Carol Carter sat right there. So, I made it through all of them.
Bobby, we appreciate everything you've done, man. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
but not a
Thank you, Bobby.
That's too big a job.
Thank you, thank you again, yes.
Commissioner Modas is on it.
Oh, good, okay. And moving on to item F, to adopt the following resolutions, proclamations, and/or orders. F1 is in memory of Reverend Adam Carrington. Sorry, not talking in the microphone. Thank you, Connie. F1 in memory of Reverend Adam Carrington, and Ms. Hawkins, my chief of staff, is going to read the proclamation.
In memory of Reverend Adam Carrington, March 16, 1962 to January 26, 2023. Whereas Adam Troy Carrington was born on March 16, 1962 in Oklahoma. Whereas Reverend Carrington served in the U.S. Navy and was a trained manufacturing engineer, which resulted in a down-to-earth style of ministry. Whereas in the fall of 2014, Reverend Carrington moved to Corpus Christi to lead the Brooks AME Worship Center in the North Side neighborhood of Hillcrest. Reverend Carrington's unique approach to ministry provided the members of his congregation a platform to voice their concerns and bring awareness to the needs of their community. Whereas as a result, the church became the setting of more than just sermons and hymns over the years, it became a home base for the community's advocacy and rallies. Whereas Reverend Carrington quickly became recognized as a leader in local civil rights who advocated for one of Corpus Christi's most historically disadvantaged communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Nueces County hereby honors the memory of Reverend Adam Carrington for his lifetime of accomplishments and his service to our community, and hereby encourages the citizens of Nueces County to join the court in offering condolences to the Carrington family in this time of mourning. Duly adopted by the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, Texas on this 23rd day of February 2023.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Thank you very much. The motion passes. Well deserved. Is anyone here from his church or his family here? Well, we'll make sure they get that proclamation, yes. Moving on, F2, in recognition of Texas Independence Day, March 2nd, 2023.
Texas Independence Day, March 2nd, 2023. Whereas independence was declared this day 187 years ago, desperate citizens residing in what is today the state of Texas met at Washington on the Brazos to express grievances against the tyrant Santa Anna. And whereas the government no longer functioned in the provisions set forth in Mexico's Constitution of 1824, and the tyranny of Santa Anna could no longer be endured. And whereas George Campbell Childress authored the Texas Declaration of Independence, declaring independence from Mexico and creating the Republic of Texas, forever changing the course of history. And whereas citizens of Nueces County joined Texans throughout the state in observance of this revered date in history. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Nueces County Commissioners Court that the second day of March 2023 is Texas Independence Day in Nueces County, Texas. Duly adopted by vote of the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, Texas on this 23rd day of February 2023.
Thank you. In recognition of March 2023 being American Red Cross Month and Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023 being Red Cross Giving Day.
March for the Vote Day in honor of the National Women's Suffrage Parade of 1913. Whereas 5,000 women, including a delegation from Texas, were mobilized.
That one. I did number 4. I'm sorry, you're doing I skipped number 3.
Sorry.
And let's go back. In recognition of March 4th, 2023 as March for the Vote Day. Sorry, mine was backwards.
March for the Vote Day in honor of the National Women's Suffrage Parade of 1913. Whereas 5,000 women, including a delegation from Texas, were mobilized in the nation's capital for a suffrage parade on March 3rd, 1913, the eve of U.S. President-elect Woodrow Wilson's inauguration. And whereas delegates from the National American Women's Suffrage Association and its predecessor associations had arrived in Washington, D.C. every year since 1869 to present petitions asking that women be enfranchised. And whereas it would take until 1920 before the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which gave many women full rights to vote for the first time, finally passed both houses of Congress and was ratified by the required 36 states. And whereas the 19th Amendment did not guarantee suffrage for all women, including women of color, women of disabilities, and women whose primary language was not English. And whereas the bold, courageous, and powerful people who fought for the ratification of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution deserve special celebration. And whereas women today are active in local, state, and national government and are running for office in unprecedented numbers, reminding us that we all follow in the footsteps of resolute American suffragists, and whereas the right to vote is the cornerstone of our democracy and the fundamental right upon which all civil liberties rest. Now therefore be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Nueces County does hereby proclaim Saturday, March 4th, 2023, March for the Vote Day. and further encourages all of the citizens of Nueces County to celebrate this special occasion by joining the march to commemorate those individuals who fought for the ratification on the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Duly adopted by vote of the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, Texas on this 23rd day of February 2023.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All and unanimous, the motion passes. Now, item 4, in recognition of March 2023 being American Red Cross Month and Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023 being Red Cross Giving Day.
American Red Cross Month in March. Whereas during American Red Cross Month in March, we celebrate the humanitarian spirit of Nueces County and reaffirm our commitment to help ensure no one faces a crisis alone. Whereas caring for one another is at the heart of our community and exemplified by the people of Nueces County, whose simple acts of kindness through the Red Cross provide help and hope in people's most difficult moments, continuing the life-saving legacy of Clara Barton, who founded the organization more than 140 years ago to prevent and alleviate human suffering. Whereas every day these ordinary individuals lend a helping hand to make an extraordinary difference for neighbors in need, whether it's providing emergency shelter, food, and comfort for families displaced by home fires and other disasters, installation of smoke detectors to prevent loss of life, supporting military members and veterans along with their families and caregivers through the unique challenges of service, using vital skills like first aid and CPR to help others survive medical emergencies, or delivering international humanitarian aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by crises around the world. Whereas their support, volunteerism, and generous donations are critical to our community's resilience, we hereby recognize the month of March in honor of all those who fulfill Clara Barton's noble words. You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it, and ask everyone to join in this commitment. Now therefore be it resolved by the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as Red Cross Month. We encourage all citizens of Nueces County to reach out and support its humanitarian mission. Duly adopted by vote of the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, Texas on this 23rd day of February 2023.
Motion to pass.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And please don't leave. I want to bring you up here, the ones that are here, and present you with your proclamation, and then you'll have an opportunity to speak from up here as well. So we just have one more. I wanted to mention that before anybody got up and walked out thinking we weren't going to do that. So, yes. And item number 5, adopt a resolution in support of Texas A&M Corpus Christi's multipurpose venue project and efforts.
In support of Texas A&M Corpus Christi multipurpose venue. Whereas the community seeks funding to construct a new mid-sized multipurpose venue to support economic development, bolster tourism and quality of place, provide increased emergency management support to the Coastal Bend, and strengthen educational opportunities. Whereas this 125,000 square foot, 3,500 seat venue located on land provided by Texas A&M Corpus Christi will serve as a center of educational advancement for UIL competitions, university speaker series, STEM camps for area youth, and a hub for campus life, including convocation, commencement, and Division I athletics. The Corpus Christi area currently lacks a mid-size indoor event space. Such a venue will benefit the entire Coastal Bend region and the Texas A&M University Corpus Christi community. Whereas in 2020, $52 billion of capital investments were made in the Coastal Bend, which created thousands of industry jobs opportunities. To expand on this growth and sustain the existing workforce, the Coastal Bend must improve quality of place for regional residents. According to a 2022 study, the existing indoor court sport-focused facilities in Corpus Christi are limited and lack the required number of courts, which serve as obstacles to establishing our facilities as marketable. This venue directly addresses this program being designated as an NCAA Division I athletics program. Student athletes need an appropriately sized facility that can accommodate mid-major college athletics events. The current facility being used, the American Bank Center, is located inaccessibly off campus and is not sized correctly for this utilization. The new venue affords these K through 12 students new academic and athletic experiences that bring them to our campus to interact with our Islander students, furthering the goal of inspiring them to pursue a college degree. With 51% of Corpus Christi Independent School District students considered at risk, providing as many opportunities as possible to bring these students to the only university in Coastal Bend is paramount. Currently, without this venue, academic opportunities are limited, and most interactions with our Division I athletic program occur downtown as opposed to on campus. This venue expands partnerships with local schools and allows for new initiatives such as annual STEM and Sports Days, a program employed in other communities that integrates the science and technology curriculum in local schools with field day events that would be held at the university. With the Coastal Bend's vulnerability to hurricanes, the university will seek to have the new venue designated and designed as a FEMA dome for use in emergencies. The addition of a mid-sized venue creates the opportunity for public-private partnerships with groups throughout the area, including the Corpus Christi Ice Race. Such a partnership would support sports tourism by adding the required hockey rink space for tournaments and will also be used to support youth hockey and community skating. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, they support Texas A&M University Corpus Christi on the opportunity for a multiple-purpose venue. Duly adopted by vote of the Commissioners Court of Nueces County, Texas on this 23rd day of February 2023.
So moved.
Motion passed. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 The motion passes. Now, Commissioners, if we can go down and we'll take some photos. We'll do the march for the vote first, and then the Red Cross people are here, and we'll do photos, and I'll allow anybody that wants to speak can speak then. We just didn't want to come back and forth quite a bit, so let's go back down. Are you coming, Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Since it's just us here. We have done this.
I guess we all got the memory.
Oh, that's right.
Squeeze together like there's no COVID.
I'll have someone that wants to speak on, wants to say a few words, you're more than welcome.
We thank you for the opportunity to be here. March kicks off Women's History Month, and our event, none of us were there in 1913 when thousands marched in Washington, and we want to take this opportunity to create an event that remembers, honors, and celebrates those brave souls for taking on the task of providing the cornerstone of democracy, the right to vote to all women, which afforded us that opportunity years later. So we invite the community to join us for fun. We're going to have speakers. We're going to have a march. We're going to have a market pop-up with the Women's Entrepreneur Society. And we're going to have some entertainment and food trucks. So we invite the community to join us. It's a nonpartisan celebration, remembering and thanking those brave souls.
I can get the Red Cross folks to come on. Thank you, ladies, again.
You're gonna have to get a little closer.
Maybe two-tier?
Yeah.
Maybe here, let's do that. Yeah, that way, that works.
And when you were saying that, I kept trying to sound it right.
Close.
Good morning, everyone. We just wanted to thank the Commissioners Court and Judge Connie Scott for recognizing the efforts of our volunteers. So 90% of the American Red Cross volunteer workforce is volunteers. We want to thank you for acknowledging that commitment in our community. And the men and women that you see standing before you are an example of what we do day in and day out, and that's responding to emergencies in our communities. American Red Cross currently is responding to over 60,000 emergencies every year. So we thank y'all for supporting us. We are currently actively preparing for the next storm season and responding to emergencies daily in your community. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Okay.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Do we have anyone here from A&M? Nobody else here that we need to.
Texas Independence. Daughters of Republic of Texas.
Oh, don't go, guys. We have another photo.
You're the Texas Independence Day.
Daughters of the Republic.
Yeah, the Daughters of the Republic.
Texas.
She's a member of the Rockport DR.
Okay, well, come on up. Let's do it.
She didn't approve everything. Of course she did.
One more.
In my red hat, ladies. Yes, ma'am. Mary Helen. Yes.
One more, sorry.
It's February.
It's 90.
I know, I want to pull French July, and nobody's last night. Oh, goodness.
You always like to be with
I can't even tell them about Barbara's program.
We have that issue again.
We're done. I caught you before.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Michael. We have this issue with my height. Remember? Of course, Texas Independence is dear to all many hearts of Texans and would-be Texans. Of course, the others got here as soon as they could. But we have a special event on March the 2nd here at the county courthouse in the central jury room. 1 o'clock, and we're going to call it the Toast to Texas. And we have a program in which we celebrate the writing of the Texas independence. Declaration of Independence, of course, that means we had to go out and win it. Mary Helen?
For the Corpus Christi, Clara Driscoll Chapter Daughters of the Republic of Texas, I thank you. And we will be here March 2nd, 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
And I hope all of you will join us. Central Jury Room, first floor.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do. I'm going to jump ahead in the schedule for one item, 3A4, because we have some deputies here that probably need to get back to work, and I appreciate you being here this morning. Discuss and consider the appointment of Nueces County Constable Precinct 4 Deputy Christopher Stimson to the Nueces County Constable 4 on the recommendation of the former constable, Bobby Sherwood, and pursuant to Section 87.041 of the Texas Local Government Code establishing an effective date and related matters. I want to make this motion. I would like to,
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Yeah.
Judge, we have to,
We gotta do number three
Yes, you
first?
have to do 3 first.
I thought we-
Oh, we have to, I thought we already
I
had.
thought we had- I thought we already
I
had
thought
it.
we already had that
No,
since he got his proclamation.
that was just the, that was
Well,
just the
let's do item
proclamation.
3 first, and then
Okay.
we'll do
All right, we'll
this.
do it again.
Yeah, okay. Well, Bobby, you left. We thought you were gone. Discuss and consider the acceptance of the resignation of Robert Bobby Sherwood, Nueces County Constable, motion, Precinct 4, Section 201.001 of the Texas Election Code. And we are sad to see you go, but we greatly appreciate your 44 years of service. So I need a motion
So
to,
moved. Second.
that we have a motion and a second to
Judge?
approve and accept his resignation. Yes, sir. Brent Chesney?
just quick discussion, Judge. Obviously, this is a motion that I never hoped we would be discussing. And certainly said what I needed to say about Bobby last week. And he knows how much he's meant to me, personally and professionally. But I certainly begrudgingly vote for this motion today because certainly no matter who takes his place, there will be no one who can take his place. So thank you, Bobby, for everything you've done. Thank you to your family for the sacrifice you've made. And I just reiterate everything I said last week, but didn't want to just blow through this motion and make it sound as though we were accepting it easily, because that's not the case at all. You've done a phenomenal job, and we appreciate everything you've done for this county. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you, Bobby.
other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? None. The motion passes. Thank you very much again. Item 4 now. Discuss and consider appointment of Nueces County Constable Precinct 4 Deputy Christopher Stimson to Nueces County Constable Precinct 4 on the recommendation of the almost former constable, but 5 more days. And pursuant to Section 87.041, the local Texas Government Code establishing an effective date, which right now we are assuming would be March 1st, or upon when the bond and everything would be completed for this appointment. I want to make the motion to appoint Constable Christopher Stimson to be the Precinct 4 Constable in replacement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other
Discussion.
discussion? Yes.
Some discussion, Judge, yes.
Yes, sir.
On this item, I've looked at the chief deputy's resume, and his recommendation from Constable Sherwood means a lot. And I would like to go through a formal process with this. I recognize that this is a formal process, but I know that there are others that are interested in this. And I just want to make sure that, is this the standard that we're going to follow from now on? Because I know the last time we had a vacancy in law enforcement, I believe it was Sheriff Kalen was resigning, and we went through a very open, very transparent process where we did the interviews in the Commissioner's Court and did the vote publicly. And so I'd like to keep with that, but
I'd like,
definitely want to hear what the rest of the board on this. But I just want clarification if this is the process we will follow for any future vacancies that have to come before Commissioners Court for an elected position.
Well, my problem with that, and the reason I chose to go this way, Commissioner Martis, is because each position is different. Every vacancy is different. I understand when the sheriff came in, that is the way, but we went outside. The sheriff was sitting in there until his replacement came. I understand Bobby's here today, but Constable Sherwood has been out quite a bit. That's the reason he resigned with his wife's health issues and things. So we all know in our jobs, in our business, we are out one employee in the court manager's office. We are out 13 prosecutors in the DA's office. We are out 86 deputies in the sheriff's office. You know, when people are out, it's the people that are there that step up to the plate and do the job. I called around, and while both of these gentlemen I know who you're talking about are highly qualified and very well capable of doing this job, this young man has been doing the job and not getting the pay, not getting the title or anything for a while, and helping out, which we all do. So the difference in that time and this time is a total different scenario, and that's the reason I talked to the attorneys, and they said there isn't a policy, it's how it fits the situation, and to me, this fit this situation better is the reason I chose to go this route.
I think also, Judge, the fact of the sheriff, at that time, we went outside because there was nobody recommended
Ben.
by Sheriff Kalen, and there was no indication that somebody was willing to move up to the position of sheriff. So we did have to go outside, ask for applications, and, being that nobody was from the department itself was being already acting or anything like that. So I think that, like you said, I think the situation was different. And it's, and I don't think we have a policy that we have to stick to one way of doing it all the time. I think it just depends on the situation and then when it happens, And so, evidently there was somebody there now that was already acting for almost a year and was doing a good job. And I really respect the recommendation of the constable for making that recommendation, because if anybody knows, it's he. So I think this is two scenarios here that are totally different, and all I agree with Commissioner Mata is that maybe, we should go outside, but I think we need to look at the situation, and this situation doesn't compare to the one we had with the sheriff, so.
Also, this position is just for 1 year? He'll have to run again?
A little over a year, and we'll be
year and a half.
running again, yes.
Okay.
He's finishing the term only, he's only
Yeah, he's
finishing the
just
term.
finishing the term.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
No.
The motion passes 4-1. Congratulations and thank you.
Congratulations.
You have some big shoes to fill. Thank you for stepping up.
Tell them what you think.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. Nope, not much. To Judge Scott and the county commissioners, I want to say thank you for the appointment to Constable. To Constable Sherwood, thank you for everything you've done to prepare me for this day. I appreciate your guidance and mentorship through the years. 44 years building a legacy, obviously some big shoes to fill, but I feel I'm up to the task. To the people of Padre Island and Port Aransas, although I was appointed in this position today, I intend to do everything in my power to earn your vote of confidence also. Again, to Judge Scott and the county commissioners, I appreciate your appointing me, and I hope that my actions moving forward will make you proud of your decision today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
All right. I heard what they said. Some people need to go back to work. 5 more days.
We're Going back to G, we are on public comment, if I can get the list. Thank you, Ade.
They're straightened up.
Thank you.
We'll let them get out. Close the doors. The first person signed up is Angelica Hernandez.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge Scott. I signed up to speak with regard to regular agenda item A2. I don't know what, if any, action the court may take today with regard to the request for support for the creation of 2 new district courts within Nueces County. But I felt compelled to come here today and just speak very briefly. Right now, our criminal justice system in Nueces County is already overwhelmed and very burdened. The success of district courts, it's not done in a vacuum. The success of a district court is absolutely, it relies on collaboration with the Nueces County District Clerk's Office, the District Attorney's Office, all of the defense attorneys, whether appointed or retained, our newly created Public Defender's Office, the Sheriff's Department, the deputies that are tasked with transporting inmates from the jail and keeping order, the Probation Department, the IT Department that deals with the Odyssey system. And I think that this is the first time I even heard this was being considered is when I saw it on the agenda. And I think a lack of collaboration with all the entities that will be affected, that are already overburdened. The district clerk's office is lacking full-time criminal clerks. The probation department will need additional employees. The IT department will be tasked with creating through the Odyssey system that is going to cost this county hundreds of thousands of dollars to build out 2 new sites for 2 new district courts. Our office, which is 13 prosecutors down right now, the court appointment list is the smallest it's ever been. All the defense attorneys are getting off because they're not getting paid enough money. You have the Sheriff's Department, which is down anywhere from 80 to 90 employees, and now we're going to overburden them, even considering the creation of 2 new district courts. You're talking about a fiscal hit to Nueces County. Each district court averages about a $600,000 budget. So to create 2 new ones, you're talking about $1.2 million you have to find. Hundreds of thousands for the Odyssey system. You supplement district judges with an $18,000 supplement for their participation in the juvenile board and the extrajudicial. So I guess my point is that if you're looking to spend $2 million, then open it up to other aspects of Nueces County that can use it much more. I don't believe our criminal justice system here will survive an additional 2 district courts. And so I ask you to really think about it and open yourself up to input and discussion before you make any kind of decision on that item.
Thank you. And we are going to table it. Mark Delaney.
Howdy, Your Honor.
Hi,
I'm Mark
how are you?
Delaney, 105 China Beach, and we'd like to talk about, there's a couple items coming up on your agenda, and there are some building permits, Lot 73, Lot 5, and 103 backside. I'd like to request on Lot 5 and 113, those not require permeable pavers, and so anyway, let me kind of, that's my main focus here, but real quick, I live out there, I build out in La Concha and on the island, and 95% of the lots are completely flat. And so these 2 lots have got to you, and they shouldn't be in your court because they're completely flat. And the Builders Association, before we require permeable pavers, we need to talk to the Builders Association, which hasn't been in the room yet, Nueces County Water and the HOAs. So on those two, Lot 73 is in the line of vegetation, and it will require, in the 350-foot line of vegetation, it will require permeable pavers.
Hey, Judge, can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
I really need him to stick around for the agenda items. I don't want him to cut off his comment, but I really am hoping he's going to stay for the agenda items since we can't address this in public comment. I know he signed up for public comment, but Mark, are you planning on being here for the agenda items?
I can stay. I wasn't planning, but I can stay, yes.
Okay, because I can't ask you questions right now because it's public comment and I can't, and I need to. So if you can't, maybe the judge can, well, I'm not asking to move it up, but I just need to make sure that if you need to stay and leave, that's great, but I may need some help later from somebody. So go ahead.
Okay.
And if I didn't mean to cut off his time, if he could start his time over.
So it's a tricky situation. There hasn't been a problem with these water permeable pavers before. The way the water, and he's right, I probably should be speaking closer to that time. The way the water flows on the island is it goes, each one of these subdivision has a little pond. And so it flows from the houses to the street to the pond, and then it seeps in. When those ponds overflow, then it goes to the cul-de-sacs along the 361. And then when we have a tremendous rain, it just kind of flows all the way out to the ocean and to the bay. So these water permeable pavers aren't necessary. And if there was a problem, I live out there, and I would, if other people are going to pay for a problem to be fixed, and plus I'm a builder, it makes my builds more expensive. I work off a cost plus. I would make more money, and I would, if there's a problem, I'd want it fixed. And there just isn't a problem with this permeable paver surface and the way the surface runoff works. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, that to say there's just not a problem. I can wait, but we have a problem. Just two items. The water permeable pavers got put on here, and it's kind of bothering you guys. It should be solved away from your office and then brought to you if it's going to. And then the permit process is just taking way too long. I've got some permits that are in the dune permit process that are taking up to 200 days, and it's hard to, they shouldn't take that long. It's really simple. There's only 10 questions on there. They're completely flat lots. Some of these items need to go before you. There's 73, which is going to be close to the line of vegetation. I'm going to expand my house pretty close as soon as we establish a line of credit, a line of vegetation, and we'll probably need to talk with my house here in another within a year time. And so the ones that are right across the dune line will need some comment, but 95% of all these permits are back on completely flat areas and should be moved through much quicker and not take up your time.
Thank you. Liz Miller?
Do I need to give my address again since I already wrote it down? Okay, so Liz Miller, 5139 Tomahawk, Robstown. And I wanted to talk on regular agenda 13 and 14. That's going to be advisory boards, which I know y'all have a lot. And then 14 is funding independent analysis of animal services. And I just wanted to kind of reintroduce you to some of the data you have. And there's so many new faces over the last 2.5 years. It just may be buried, but it's got a lot of information. And it's Shelter Planners Field Assessment Study. And I don't know how familiar y'all are with it, but we just spent $4.2 million on these guys, so they seem pretty smart. The architect for Shelter Planners, he's an animal control officer, was executive director of 4 different shelters for 11 years, both Humane Society and municipal. His operations consultant, which he could be his own operations consultant, honestly, but his operations consultant has 30 years of shelter operations experience and is a lobbyist. Very cool. That's 41 years of experience between the two. And in the field assessment study that we've already paid for, they give you 14 key components for successful operations. And the only two we've hit, we spent $4.2 million in construction. And the rest have never been addressed. So of the 14 key, 11 are current operations and 3 are for preventative. So of the 11, you have visible shelter location, which construction hit, visibility of all animals. We could have had a digital storefront 2.5 years ago. Weekend evening hours, website pet listings, attractive welcoming shelter, that's hit with construction, well-groomed animals. Edmundo has that one, take that one off. Not too restrictive adoption requirements, low adoption fees. I know y'all think y'all have that, but you really, really don't. Media promotions, special events, and strong rescue partnerships. The 3 preventative, and 1 toggles between the 2 lists. 3 preventative are low cost and subsidized spay and neuter, which y'all are years away from. Public education, that hits both lists, and that's free. Anyway, that's specifically from pages 6 and 8 of the field assessment study. That's 2.5 years old. So I'm kind of jumping pages here, but J.J. De La Cerda and Louis Ray have massive amounts of data on Nueces Co. And they have a Facebook page. And it should be feasible for animal services to do the same. And the advisory board should have been using this as a shopping list, in my opinion. And I just wanted you to go back to the data you've already paid for. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment that anybody didn't have a chance to sign up for? I would like to ask, I know I have one item I want to table, 3A2, and ask if you all have any other ones that you want to table. Anybody else?
I think
Yes, ma'am, I do.
1 and 2.
1 and 2? 3A1?
3A, 1 and 2. Can they go together?
Well, they're separate.
Or they,
Yeah, they're totally separate.
I have, let's see, hold on. Number 14 should not have gotten on.
14, you want tabled indefinitely?
Yes, ma'am. And then 13 was really more for information, and we'll see how that one goes, but that was really more for information, but 14 for sure.
Okay, do we have to vote on that? I have them table 3A2 and 3A14, and 3A1 still?
well, 3A1, it's not very clear what it's about. Is there a backup on that? Is that part of the 2 courts?
There's backup on it. It's no, it's not a part of the 2 courts, it's a different independent
Written
study.
dissolution? I didn't see that, okay. Okay, so we'll just leave 2 under there, huh?
Just leave 2? Okay. Not do 1?
You can do them one at a time, Judge, however you want to
Okay.
do them, and just
3A2, I make the motion to table indefinitely. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign? Commissioner Modas, are you?
Zoom, I was just about to text him.
And 3A14, are you making the motion, Brent, to table 3A14?
Yes, ma'am. Is the county manager there? I can't see. I need some direction from her. This was one that she was supposed to have provided the court information, and I don't think that information is available yet, but I need to know from her when this is going to be available. This was one that we assigned you a long time ago.
Correct.
So-
Yeah, this is gonna be ready for next, I'm expecting to have that by the second meeting of next month, Commissioner.
Okay, then my motion would be to table it to the second meeting of next month with the county manager to provide the backup in the agenda for that, not my office. That would be my motion.
Your motion Yes, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 So you're gonna leave 13 on then?
Are you gonna table 13 too, or leave it on?
You know what, I think probably let's just do 13 at the same time we do 14, because it kind of all runs together. So yes, I would make a motion to table 13 to the second meeting in March also.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Moving on to G2, the consent agenda.
Judge, I would make a motion to pass the consent agenda unless there are some that need to be pulled.
Yeah, I want to pull C.
Pull C. Any other items out of the consent agenda? Do you want pulled, anyone?
Judge, I would move
Make
to
a
pass.
motion.
I want to,
Consent.
I want to pull M.
Pull M. Did you have some you wanted to pull, Brent, too, or?
No, I was just
Commissioner
going to
Chesney?
make a motion
Okay.
to pass the remaining consent agenda items A through N, other than items C as in Charlie and M as in Mary. That would be my motion.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving to item 2C, authorized payment of bills.
Now, I don't know that I need everything in C, you know, and maybe I just need some clarification on C because, let's start pulling some stuff here. I have a question, maybe to clarify. I see a lot of the items on C, on the, special motions to pay some of these items. But a lot of these items are really old items. They're back for October, September, October, November, December. And so why is the purpose of that? I thought we're supposed to be paying them by the month or submit invoices by the month. If they're not submitting invoices, why not? I mean,
We pay the invoices whenever we receive them, sir. And so you will see on each of the attached backup, there's a memo submitted by the department head when it was submitted. We have begun stamp dating on the front of the memo so that you can see, so that Commissioners Court will be able to see when we receive those in our office, so that there won't be any question about
Right.
if we've been holding it or where it's been all that time.
I appreciate that very much because, see, I mean, I don't want to go back, it's your fault for holding it, but sometimes, so I'm saying if the agencies are holding to this for 2-3 months, because the contract says it's supposed to submit them on a monthly basis.
Exactly. So at this particular point in time, we cannot tell you where it got held up in the chain. We can just tell you when we receive it. We do have a stamp date on all of our invoices. So if you wanted to come by our office and ask, okay, where was this invoice? When did you get this in? We can let you know, and then you could reach out to the department head when they got it in. Sometimes it is stamp dated on the invoice, sometimes it's not. Whenever we do convert to the new workday, we will be able to track those matrix so that you'll be able to see when the vendor submitted the invoice, when the department head approved it, and when our office submitted it for payment.
Now, and the invoice is back in number, way in the back on IBM Building Services LLC. There's some, the projects are there, and they're all supposed to be energy saving projects. But if I look at it, it doesn't say like what specific items were done, right? I mean, I can probably research the whole thing, but I think in the form here it should have maybe, like, if we're paying for that project, 54,000, it should say what the project was, you know?
That one we actually got last minute. It was a last minute add to the agenda for ABM.
And it's got one for 90,000, one for 21,000, one for 90,000, one for 509,000.
It has, I believe if you continue to go back behind the request for payment, there's a certification, application and certification for payment.
that is included. It looks like Teresa, and Commissioners Court Admin received that on February 13th. They submitted it to Judge Scott and our office on the 14th for approval, which was the cutoff date for the agenda. So we took it that last day at 3:41 PM, and it was due at 5 o'clock, added it to the agenda so that we
This
could get
is-
that on there.
This is the one also that I wouldn't sign until Juan looked at it, that they brought it to me, and I needed him to clarify what the work was done before. That's why it was so late on this one. Yes.
It was revised.
Yes, yes.
Okay, but now, my question, to make it a lot easier, I guess, you know,
more
maybe for us,
information.
can we identify what projects they are? Or in the backup, I guess, can you say, well, maybe I didn't look at the backup completely, but.
I believe that the backup, where it is the application and certification for payment, and then it says AIA document G703, page 1 of 3 through 3 of 3. I believe that that itemizes what work was previously completed, what work was currently completed, and what the balance is to finish. But since I just saw Mr. Pimentel walked in and he is the expert, I would defer to the expert. We just pay the bills.
Yeah, I know, I know, but the only thing that I would say to make it clear for us.
I understand, sir.
When we submit this bills here, energy saving project, McKinsey Jail, is there any way we can kind of document what work was done at the jail? You know, can anybody answer that, or Juan, can you?
I would defer to the expert, Mr. Pimentel.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I was walking up here, I didn't hear the conversation until when I walked in here, so I apologize.
My concern here is identifying the projects, you know, like if, here, when we get the special motions.
Yes, sir.
It says energy saving project, Nueces County Jail, and how much the amount, 90,000, then we got energy saving project McKinsey, juvenile detention. We don't know what projects we're talking about, you know, whether they're energy savings or not. If I knew what the work was, I probably could say, yes, energy saving, no, it's not energy saving. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Some, like detention, I don't know if it's energy savings, if we talk about the parking lot,
Well,
right?
we're kind of like, you're requesting, Commissioner, like the Galahar, where they're doing the
Right.
parking lot right now.
Right.
I think they're like 40 or 50% complete.
We've been doing that for 2 years now.
That's
but-
yes, sir. That's a I would say a non-energy savings.
That's what, and this is why I just need to clarify this thing.
Yes, sir.
Teresa's online. She'd like to talk about it too,
Okay.
Teresa.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe you could just identify them, you know, the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying, or, so we know what we're looking at, and, you know, and maybe you should need to tell, when they submit it to you, probably, they should indicate the same thing on their invoice, right?
Yes, sir. We can coordinate with ABM on that.
You have Teresa there?
Teresa, yes, Ms. McLemore.
Yes, sir. Commissioner, I just wanted to add that this application comes with the disbursement recap that you were just mentioning, the dollar amounts for each project. For instance, how much we were going to pay for the courthouse was the $54,000, how much for the jail, but the actual detail of what was worked on is within the FIAP itself. So for instance, the first one was for the courthouse, and it was for the building, it was for the transformer upgrades. So if you look at the detail on the actual invoice, it shows what area the cost is in. So the only thing that we list on the disbursement form is just the name, like McKinsey Annex, the jail, the courthouse, because the
Well,
detail is on the
And I,
FIAP.
I really understand that, and you guys work it every day, so you know where it's coming from. We don't, and sometimes we don't have time to read everything. If it's submitted a day before, 2 days before, we don't have time to really go and start digging through all this other stuff. We got other stuff to do too, but I'm just saying, we can identify it when we submit it. If you already have it identified, then just submit it with the with the invoice, you know? So we can look at it and question it. If we have to call Juan, we call Juan, you know, we call somebody, but if we don't know until we look at it the day before, then it's too late for us to even call anybody, but. So, you know, I guess I'm trying to make things a little bit easier for us here to read and stay above water, to know exactly where we spend this money, because when I saw $509,000 for the fairgrounds, and I saw the $90,000 for the juvenile, you know, I don't know that we have, done that much work to earn that much money. So, you know, that was my question, so I just know that, to me, in the future, we need to identify our projects. And, you know, I know it's in the backup, but then sometimes it's not in the backup, you have to dig through the backup and, you know, and so I'm just trying to make things a lot easier for us to question and call audit, to call you, or to call Juan, somebody. Who do we call? If we know it's here, you know, we know exactly who to call and to find out what's going on and why we're spending so much money and we're still there doing the project. For $109,000, I would think you would finish the project. You know, I don't know how much that project is, and there's don't have a balance on there either. So if I knew that we had a balance, I knew we probably wouldn't finish the project, you know? So this is just my thing.
Add some additional information on
My-
there
my
for us.
My
yes.
recommendations, and maybe if we can be a little more clear, more specific. I know it comes to you, but you push it here, so I guess it comes from Teresa, it comes from Juan, whatever. You know, we can probably work so we can kind of let us know if there is a balance. If I know there's a balance, that means we haven't finished the work, right? I mean, but I don't know if there's a balance or not. I don't know if it's finished or not, because everything I've seen is not finished, you know, and so that really bothers me when I see all this work and all this money and nothing's finished, you know, so, you know, but that'll come up later, I guess. But anyway, I just want to make sure we try to clarify these things a little bit more. You know, give us more information, give us more clarity.
Very good.
Judge, I have a
Yes.
similar question.
Commissioner,
Yes, ma'am.
excuse me,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
balance for all the energy saving projects for ABM is $7.6 million. It's on their fee app, the first page. Balance to finish, 7.695277.87.
7.677?
7.695.277.87.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Judge, I have a similar question.
Yes, please.
It's a different vendor. I'm asking on a $7,400 balance or invoices for engineering consultant from Susan Roth. Juan, can you help us out on that?
Yes, sir, Commissioner. I know those get submitted to our grants department and get submitted for recommendation for payment. I looked at several of them, Commissioner, and we're fine to get them paid. Recommend payment.
You recommend payment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm like Commissioner Gonzalez, you know, we didn't see any backup. It just says engineering consulting, and, you know, they're very vague.
Yes, sir. We'll get with Susan to be more detailed on her pay request, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Apologize for that. Yes, sir.
Any other questions on this item? Do we have a motion to approve item C, the authorize the payment of bills?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Moving on to item M.
Judge, I want to change mine to nay on that one.
You want to change yours to no on that one? Yes, okay. So that would be 4-1 vote on that. Did y'all get that? Do you need to do anything else? You're good? Okay. Moving on to item M. And that was yours also to pull the award and execution of agreement with Lance Soft. I think you pulled that one too. M on the consent.
I just want a clarification, what is all that mean? Is this your expenses? by
Can you
department?
speak into the microphone, Commissioner? Sorry.
Anyway, so I was talking
They
to
tell
you.
me that too.
All right, my bad. Anyway, number M, I'm just saying that, can you give me just a clear little explanation? Are we spending like not to exceed 250,000 per department?
No,
Total.
that's, according to our compliance with 2 CFR Part 200, we have to have a not-to-exceed value on POs that might be funded by the federal government at some point. And historically, the spend in that account is generally around 70,000. It's primarily used by the county clerk's office for election workers and a little bit by Public Works and a very small amount from time to time there. And that annual spend is somewhere around $68,000, $69,000 on a regular basis. But during the pandemic, we saw a high go up to around 220K. Our current contract has a not to exceed of 500,000. I thought that was a little excessive, so I visited with HR, and we found the actual cost at the peak being 220, and so we were recommending not to exceed 250. Although we fully expect that our regular expenses without a pandemic should always fall below 75,000 per year, and it will only be used on an as-needed basis as identified by the county clerk or Public Works, and they'll work in conjunction with HR for any particular personnel that they need for those jobs.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
And
So moved.
they recommend approval.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Thank you.
I did vote aye. Sorry, Judge.
You
I was a little
did?
late there.
Oh, okay.
I did vote. I voted aye.
On the regular agenda, 3, item 1A1, discuss and consider the approval of a Board of Judges resolution in support of a study of counsel at first appearance. The Texas A&M approached Nueces County for permission to conduct a study that had previously conducted in several other Texas counties to study counsel appearing with defendants at their first magistrate hearing. The study will be in no cost to Nueces County, with A&M paying for any expenses through a grant. Has nothing to do with those 2 other courts that we were talking about earlier, so.
So moved, Judge. So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And this is a no-cost study
No
also to
cost
the county.
study, yes.
Do we
Right.
need a MOU? Do we need an MOU, Judge, for this? Well,
Should have one, really.
Approve, A&M interlocal agreement may be needed to approve
we need a local
later.
agreement, yes.
Approve later if we agree to participate. Do we need
And we
that?
can look at that and what's needed. We don't know that, haven't been presented with the parameters and what information is going to be requested to be shared. at
This is just a resolution right now, and then we'll come back if we have to do an MOU or interlocal or something, yes, okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 We might have already done that. Let's do it again, it doesn't hurt. Sorry. The motion passes then for the study. Moving on to item 5, discuss and take action on request from Nueces County Hospital District for assistance from legislative consultants Joel Romo and Patricia Shipton. This is for them to allow them to assist the hospital district following HB 1489 and any other related matters if that bill changes to another number. If that, and Johnny Hip is here. If do you want to hear from him or anything on this? I think we're all fine. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 The motion passes. Thank you, Johnny, for being around.
You're welcome.
Item 6, you might stay. Thank you. Discuss and consider approval for the county judge on behalf of the Commissioners Court to sign a letter in support of the Nueces County Hospital District's appeal summary for the FEMA Region 6 Public Assistance Branch application number 674808.
So moved.
I do have questions.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Chesney.
Question.
Thank you, Judge.
We have a motion.
Johnny, is this the
We
appeal
have a
that,
motion and a second. Thank you.
for
Now
that
go ahead.
large appeal that we did I mean, is this the $500,000 one that
Yep.
was represented by the former county judge that she was going to cover it if she didn't? Is that what this is, and that we lost on it?
Sure, that's correct. We would. And what the purpose of this is
You're getting cut out, Johnny.
You're breaking up.
Johnny, you're breaking up. Johnny, hold on. You're breaking up bad. I can't hear you. Maybe it's just me, though.
No, we can't either.
No.
can't hear me, then to it is.
Can't hear him. You want to maybe call back in on the phone or something, or I don't know what to do because I can't hear him at all. I mean, I can hear like.
Probably be easier on the phone.
You want to?
Don't have to put him on the speaker.
You have him?
He's calling.
Can you put him on?
Hi, Dave.
Yes, so,
Are you ready for me to proceed?
yes.
Okay, Commissioners, the hospital district submitted.
You need to mute your computer before you talk into the phone.
Mute your
We're getting
computer.
feedback.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, talk on the phone, mute the computer. There you go.
The hospital district commissioner submitted the appeal for, to recover the $507,000 for the social determinants of health. And this item is simply a supporting letter from the court for our appeal. This was a suggestion of Congressman Cloud that the court submit a supporting letter in addition to the appeal documents that had been submitted.
Okay, so basically, and I've read this, and obviously we want to help you get out of the mess that was created by someone who's no longer here. At the same time, I don't want to submit anything that commits the county to that, because obviously there's a little bit of discomfort with us feeling like we owe it, and we it was represented to you that you felt like we did, but so I'm just making sure this letter doesn't commit us to anything other than supporting you in trying to win your appeal, or it's not indicating in any way that we feel like we owe it or anything like that.
Commissioner, I don't believe that the letter commits the county to any payments or anything. And as I mentioned, this letter was really at the suggestion of Congressman Cloud as a part of some efforts to help our appeal along. So it's not my understanding that this letter commits the court to anything other than just supplying a friend of the court brief, if you will, for our appeal application.
And I guess, excuse me, and I guess that the legal has looked at this and the judge has read this, and this all is right because, we weren't involved in this process because it was circumvented from the court, taken out of the court's hand by the prior county judge. And so I don't know if this is right or not when I read this letter. So has someone verified that this is right? Because you're asking us to approve it, but I wasn't involved in this process at all. And so I don't know if this letter's right or not. How do I vote? How do I know that? Can someone else answer that or vetted it or?
Well, Mary Esther in our office, who helps represent the hospital district, this is Jenny Dorsey, has looked at the letter, but we can look at it from that perspective if you want us to go back and make sure. I believe that's already happened and it's good to go, but we can give it a look. I don't know if she looked at it with that issue in mind.
And I mean, this is a little bit of a touchy issue, right? I get it because hospital district kind of got hosed on this. And and we're trying to help them, but at the same time, this court wasn't involved in this process in any way, shape, or form. It was purely done by the county judge on her own, the prior county judge on her own. Sorry, Judge Scott.
Thank you.
And I don't know, I don't know how to vote on this because I don't know if it's right or not. I mean, if it's legally sufficient, that's one thing, but is it factually sufficient? I don't know.
Can we just indicate that we won't be held accountable or held responsible?
Vote, yes.
I mean, although we
Well,
might still want to work with the
the judge-
hospital district in some way or another, but, you
I mean,
know,
we're authorizing the judge to sign the letter. I just want to make sure it's factually right. Because once we authorize it, we're saying, Johnny's already answered that it doesn't put us in liability or it doesn't obligate us to pay. Okay, that's fine. But then the second issue is, I don't know anything about this. I mean, this is the first time I saw the letter was in the deal. And because none of us were involved in it, including the current county judge, is it okay factually to authorize her to sign it? Because none of us were there and know what went on.
We're happy to look.
If I might add, the contents of the letter were drawn from the underlying appeal documents that we had used to support it. And so we're okay. I mean, we're not in any hurry to have you submit this letter. If y'all want to have counsel go back and go through it. Haggerty was the one who compiled the letter for us. And as I said, it was based on underlying documents.
Johnny,
Right, so
go ahead.
So I guess the answer, maybe we should send it back and let, maybe, Judge, if you want, I don't know, it's your name on it, Judge, so, I mean.
I have a question.
I sign on behalf of the court.
No, I know,
Not just my name.
but I'm just saying, maybe
Judge, I have a question.
someone,
Yes.
go ahead.
Since they're not in a hurry for it, is there a way we can get a copy of the letter?
It's in your
It's
packet.
in the backup. It's rather dense. It is a heavy document. And, I mean, we absolutely can go back and look at it from that perspective. We're happy to do that.
Well, I'm just saying that way, every commissioner has a chance.
You have it in your backup.
Okay. When you say it's kind of dense, what do you mean by that?
Speak in your microphone, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep forgetting this.
It's just a almost two-page, single-spaced,
Lots of numbers.
lots of information letter.
Well, it's gotta mean something to somebody. So anyway, I'm willing to table this for whatever it takes and, have each commissioner, read over their letters and see what makes sense to us. Okay? That's my recommendation.
Absolutely.
And I think that's probably the best way to go today. I just don't know how to vote on this because I've read this thing and I got no clue if this is right or not. Because we weren't there. We didn't have anything to do with it.
Commissioner Gonzalez, do you want to pull your motion to approve?
is there something out of the ordinary that we can find? I mean, would it make a difference? I mean,
Well, it always, if there's a problem, it pays to, request those changes before they go out. And
But you've already looked at it once, haven't, or
Well,
someone in your
actually,
office has.
not very much. Actually, I'm communicating with Mary Esther right now, and we are asking that you put it on the next agenda so we have more of an opportunity to look
I
at it.
remove my motion and make a motion to reset it for the next meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move this to our next meeting.
Will that give you time, Jenny, till the next meeting or do you need the second meeting in March?
If we could have the second meeting, that would be very helpful.
Second meeting then.
Second meeting in March, then. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
But hang on, Johnny, is that gonna be, I don't wanna hamstring the
bind.
hospital district
Yeah.
either.
Commissioner, as I mentioned earlier, the appeal has already been submitted. It was submitted by the deadline. And so this letter today that y'all are considering is really like a friend of the court, sort of a brief, if you will. It's not
Yeah, we need to do
essential
it
to our
sooner.
appeal, but Congressman Cloud thought that it had value in submitting it to, but there's no time frame right now.
Maybe we need to do it on the first meeting in March then, because I don't want them to rule and not get this if it's right and we can help, because I want to help the hospital dispatch. I want to make sure it's right. So.
All right, let's make up our mind. Going back and forth in this thing here, so.
Well, I'm asking Johnny, if it goes till, if we don't do this until the second meeting in March, does that, I mean,
Commissioners, it's not a problem because the letter is not a part of our appeal package
Okay.
because
All
the
right.
appeal has already been submitted.
The backup.
It's just for
okay,
backup.
based on that, then I would vote aye on the motion to table to the second meeting in March.
Everyone else voted aye already, so the motion passes to table to the second week in March. So moving on, thank you, Johnny, for being here. To item number 7, receive information on the county's indigent burial and cremation. And Rebecca, you're up. Thank you, good to
Hello,
see you.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm just here to provide some information on the county's program. Nueces County Social Services is tasked with carrying out the county's responsibility to provide for final disposition of indigent clients. I provided you some information in the backup regarding the costs that we pay of a burial versus cremation, which is $1,875 for a burial compared to $820 for a cremation. I also have here today, the county uses Duncan Cemetery, and I have the owner of Duncan Cemetery here in case you have any questions about that. They have been the cemetery that the county has used since, I believe, about 2005, according to my records. Last year, we used 78 plots, last fiscal year, 78 plots at Duncan Cemetery. Of course, if people have other plans already in place, for example, veterans at the Veterans Cemetery, or they own a plot already, we can bury at those places if they qualify.
Did I, in your conversation with me, or did you say the Duncan Cemetery was up for sale?
Yes,
Are
Duncan
those prices going to change then, or?
Well, do you want me to, I can answer that. It has been up for sale, but there's not an imminent sale pending or anything like that. There's about 1,500 plots available for our use. So we think we have years and years still ahead. We don't foresee a problem with that at all. And also I'd like to introduce Ms. Lopez because she's the one that deals with my staff and takes care of all of our invoicing and that sort of thing. I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Well, I wish we would have put there in all other matters, because maybe we need to get a habit of putting all other matters on it, because Jenny, can I ask about something, another program that they have, or do I have to stick with the burial? So I wanted to ask a question about another program.
It doesn't have anything to
cremation?
do with burial or
No,
cremation?
No.
No, I just wondering, that's what I'm saying, maybe we can have it put in all other matters, so we can discuss.
That does give the court more flexibility.
So Dave, can we kind of look at that? Okay, never mind, I'll bring you back some other day.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ginny.
Yes.
I just, also, what I asked, is this Duncan Cemetery, is that the one in Fort Bluff?
Yes. Yes.
I would rely on Rebecca's representation. I do not know.
Is that the
Yes,
one?
yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where it's at. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for being here today. It's very nice to meet you both, and thank y'all for being here. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Moving on to item 8, discuss and consider approval of a dune protection permit for large-scale construction of a single-family residence located in La Concha Estates, Block 1, Lot 73 of Corpus Christi, and is Commissioner Chesney on? This is his area.
Is Scott on?
Yes.
Scott there?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Jump on.
He's here.
Yes, sir.
I'll let him.
So
go
which
for it.
which one are we at? Are we at the two that got tabled from last time?
The La Concha Estates, Block 1, Lot 73.
Is that one of yours?
It's in the, no, but it's in.
That's, okay, that's the one that's in the 350. That application right there are certain requirements you have to follow under the Texas Administrative Code and Texas Natural Resources Code when you're inside the 350-foot setback line. And that lot was platted many years ago, and whoever bought it at the time, you know, just finally decided to build on it. And so I recommend approval of that one, just the way it's written, and that's exactly what the applicant wanted.
And who's the applicant on this one?
I can't remember their name. Huh? Oh, you're here? Okay, come on up. Come on up. I didn't know you were here.
Okay, yeah, that is the
Commissioner
applicant.
Rob McManus. I own the lot and I'm the applicant.
And you're asking for approval of this today, sir, as is?
Yes.
Great. Motion to pass, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get you a notice to proceed letter out right away. Okay. Thanks, Scott. Yes, sir.
Item number 9 then, consider approval of dune protection permit of a single-family resident located at Lot 5 Mustang Island Estates.
That's the one that was tabled from last, about a month ago. And I recommend that y'all approve it without the recommendation of permeable surfaces. Other than that, it is administratively correct, and we need to get these guys going so they can get building.
And is this Mark's?
No, this one's not yours specifically.
I'm
This
doing
is
the application
Yeah, but
for Newcastle.
for Newcastle. Okay, he's doing the application for Newcastle. I didn't know if that one was yours or John's.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so is this, I'm sorry, so is this, I can't tell by my stuff, is this Newcastle's application then?
Yes.
And is, Mark, are you here representing Newcastle?
Go ahead.
Yes, I am, correct.
And are you asking for it to be approved, subject to the condition of the permeable surfaces being removed?
We need the,
You want that removed?
we want that removed, correct.
Right, so
Yeah.
Scott has just recommended that the permeable surfaces be removed. Is that correct, Scott, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So then I would make a motion to amend the permit to remove the permeable surfaces as recommended by Scott Cross and agreed to by the applicant. Judge, if I could make that motion?
We have the motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed,
Aye,
same
then I-
sign.
I'm sorry. And then I would make the motion to pass the permit overall as well with that amendment.
With that, oh, that's two different motions on that one? Sorry.
Right, I had to
Yes.
amend it first, and then I'm gonna make a motion to pass the overall
We have a
permit now.
motion and a second by Commissioner Marquez. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Moving on to item number 10. The discuss and consider approval of dune protection permit, single-family residence located at 113 Backside Drive in Lot 11, Block 3 of Island Park Estates.
Same situation. It was tabled from last court that we had this on. I'm recommending that y'all approve without the recommendation of permeable surface in the permit.
Judge, same motion. Is this Newcastle as well?
No,
This is, I'm doing this permit for Newcastle, so exactly the same as the previous.
Okay, then I would make the same motion to amend the recommendation to take out the permeable surfaces recommendation as recommended by Scott Cross and approved by the applicant's representative. That would be my motion, Judge.
We have a motion.
A second.
And we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes to take out that. Now we need your next motion. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. I apologize. I make the motion to pass the permit as amended and recommended by Scott Cross and approved by the applicant's representative.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 The motion passes again. Thank you very much.
thank y'all very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. Moving on to 3A11, discuss and consider approval of interlocal agreement with the City of Robstown regarding improvements to Diaz Park, Portela Park, and Kiwanis Park.
Judge, that's my item, and I know we only have the attachment for the map
for the park locations. So motion to table to next available meeting to have an
Second.
agreement.
We have a motion and a second to table to the second meeting in March or first?
To the next meeting, yes.
The next, the
Hopefully
first,
I
next
think we're-
meeting, yes, okay.
Jenny, are we waiting on response?
We are waiting to actually hear back to see if there are any changes from your recommendations.
Okay.
Okay. And we have a motion and a second to table to the first meeting in March. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. It's tabled to the 1st of March. Item number 12, discuss and consider reinstating the Nueces County Insurance Committee with representation of the risk assessment, auditing, a commissioner or judge, and representation from the county insurance broker, Carlisle. I was in a meeting earlier this week and was told that they used to have this. I've already asked Commissioner Martis if he'd be willing to represent the court on that. And I would make a motion to reinstate the insurance committee for the county with those.
Second.
people involved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign.
And Judge,
Yes.
you want to make that motion to appoint Commissioner Mata since all we did was
Oh,
reinstate?
yes, I'll make the motion to appoint Commissioner Mata as our representative.
Second.
And we have a second, a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much, Commissioner Martis, for doing that. Item number 15, discuss and consider funding sources for the Hilltop Community Center renovations. And Commissioner Hernandez, that is yours.
Yes, Judge, if one was here, he was gonna get Mr. Richter. Sorry.
Judge, could I ask a quick question? I apologize.
Yes.
On that insurance, I saw it says Commissioner or Judge. Does that mean it's not going to be, it's just Commissioner Mata or both of y'all?
Just Commissioner Martis, not both of us, no.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'm on enough. While we're waiting on one, I guess we can do item 16. Discuss and consider the hiring of Ricardo J. Navarro with Denton, Navarro, Rocha, Bernal, Hyde, and Zach PC, attorneys at law, on legal matters related to a collective bargaining and related matters.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Judge, real quick
Oh,
discussion.
yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just, we've talked about it before, and I've talked about it so we could remember, and so I reminded myself, we have talked about before, our environmental enforcement officers have been left out of the collective bargaining. They are law enforcement. They were here earlier today with Constable Sherwood. They are actually, he holds their badge, and they are out of his precinct, but they enforce, of course, throughout the county. They, when we've had collective bargaining in the past, have not been able to reap the benefits of those negotiations. And so they've kind of been left out. So I'd always mentioned that we would get them in this next round, and here is our next round. So I don't know if there's anything formal, Jenny, that you would recommend to include, or can that just be added? Is there something that the Sheriff's Officers Association has to approve to include those officers in there? But like I said, they are deputy constables out of precinct 4, so.
I will bring that to Mr. Navarro, who is the outside counsel, and he's that firm, has handled in the past. And if that is possible, that, he'll make it happen. If it's not, there'll be an explanation as to why not.
Certified peace officers, isn't it? They are certified peace officers.
They are certified, and then also I thought about, the DA's office has, I think, is it 1 or maybe 2? Investigators. They are more than likely not included, so also if they could be included, just like you said, I agree, Navarro, Rocha, the whole firm, they've done this many times over. So we can just get an opinion on that, or like I said, I don't know if the Sheriff's Officers Association also has to give approval, so I want to overstep our bounds, but I definitely want to make sure that they're included in that negotiation as we move forward. And then the second part to that, Judge and Court, is, I asked if we can get frequent updates. I think the last time, maybe there wasn't too much to discuss. I know that Judge Canales was point on that, and then they had the president of the Sheriff's Officers Association point on that, and they kind of worked through it quickly, because there wasn't too much to discuss, right? It was pretty clean cut. We knew how much we could afford. There was some additional benefits to be negotiated, but from what I recall, and it's already been a few years, but Commissioner Gonzalez or Chesney, if you all recall, it seemed like we authorized, and the next time we ever heard anything else about it was when it was time to vote. And so all I ask is, I see the team, I support the team that has been recommended here below to us. If we could just get maybe 1 or 2 executive sessions, we may not need that many. We may just need 1. But if we at least can get 1 maybe before the meeting you anticipate to finalize, just in case there's anything, just so we can hear the update, just so we can maybe give any feedback to you all. Like I said, I totally trust those 5 or 6 names that are included to be able to handle this. But if we could just ensure that internally we get at least 1 update, I'd appreciate it, because I do anticipate it working pretty quickly. But, and of course, and if it doesn't, then definitely we need more updates. But if it does move, I just ask for that courtesy.
Agree.
Yes.
So we need, the motion right now is to approve the hiring, and this is the same law firm that we have used multiple times in the past for this. So we have a motion and a second to approve the hiring of them. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 The motion passes. Then we need to authorize the team. The bar.
So moved.
That's a separate motion. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Commissioner Martis,
Judge,
I
just a
agree
clarification.
wholeheartedly with what you said, yes. Yes, sir.
Judge, just for clarification, it would be to authorize the county judge, county attorney, commissioners court administration, county auditor, human resources, and sheriff's office as the team.
Yes. It's listed on here, yes. Thank you very much. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. So moving back to item 15, because 1 is here now.
Judge, can I request for the item to be moved back about 15 minutes? David Richards planning on being on the internet, on the
Another
web.
15
He's in
minutes?
Austin, Juan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll hold
He's-
off a little
he's-
bit.
yes, ma'am.
Going
Thank you.
to item 17.
Excuse me, Judge, on item 16, did the court, it says discuss and consider, or discuss and accept the proposed rate schedule,
Oh, the rate schedule, we didn't do that.
which I
Yes.
believe should have been circulated prior.
It was in the backup, Judge.
It was in here, it's in my backup right now.
300, 250, 100.
Yeah, do you want us to approve that separately, Jenny, or what are
Yes,
you asking
please.
for?
We need a motion and a second to approve
So
the,
moved.
we
Second.
have a motion
Second.
and a second. We've got a second, Commissioner Hernandez, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now, going on to item number 17, discuss and consider the next Commissioners Court meeting is currently set for March the 8th, and we did get a notice, Jenny, you will not be here for March the 8th.
That's true.
so Someone else will be sitting in the chair,
Yes.
but you will not be here.
You want to move it?
No, thank you.
I can't. I just giving you a chance.
So everyone's fine with keeping the schedule that we have, there's nothing
9
else, so we
9
don't need a motion because it's
9
already on
a.m.
our schedule, so, okay. B1, grants, discuss and consider approval of a memorandum of understanding between Nueces County and Youth Odyssey for programs relating to truancy prevention. And, it's Anna is out, and she's had a death in the family, so very sorry she is not here.
Is that something new or what?
This says the truancy prevention and intervention program is designed to provide funding for juvenile case managers and truancy prevention, including education programs and/or related services designed to prevent truancy, including for children at risk or entering the juvenile justice system. They will run programs here in Nueces County with the $32,581.46 of grant funding. Each program will serve up to 15 youth and provide them with hands-on life skills. Each lesson goes back to the personal life. The grant funding is no match and no cost to the county. So I would make the motion that we approve this grant funding for the Youth Odyssey program, truancy
Second.
prevention. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. The motion passes.
Was Commissioner Chesney and I?
Yes. Commissioner, Chesney, you were an aye, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I was, yes.
It looked like an aye to me. Public Works, item C1. We're still waiting for your other person, so we're not going back.
He's
to-
on here, Judge.
Oh, he's on? Okay, well, let's go back to that first and finish. Item number 15, discuss and consider the funding sources for the Hilltop Community Center renovations.
David's online.
David, are you going to take over for this one and talk about this?
Yes, can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, yeah, well, thank you. And first I wanted to thank and credit Angie Flores for loaning me her office at the state capitol. So I found a nice quiet place to join you and send my greetings from up here. I don't know if you want me to summarize the project or just be available for questions related to the packet that you have. But I guess I will say that we are nearing completion on our documents, and so we're kind of anxious to wrap everything up. We are designing to the minimum LEED standards, which is still a high bar of performance, and the building has a lot of great sustainable environmental features that have been a part of the concept from the beginning, and those are really not compromised. Some of them are being bid as alternates so that we can try to get the final price to an affordable level. So we have several bid alternates that are built into the plans. And I think what's in front of you right now is approval of a change to enable the completion of our plans.
And you talked about it last time when you were here, so yes, Juan, if you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. I think that the main point in here is that the base bid, they're approximated to be about $9.196 million. And then the architectural fees, this is a fiscal impact, is the additional $627,000 to get the project to final completion for DDs, which is design development. Is that correct, David? And
It is actually, that value takes it to completion of contract documents.
To completion of the
Which is
contract.
final, it's CDs, it's basically the completed technical plans that's necessary to bid and to build the project.
And then all we're doing, Judge, in meeting with Commissioner, in order to have the total amounts to cover the additional costs, I know we're reallocating some of the CO monies from the 2015 and the 2016 and 2021 CO monies in order to have the total amount of monies to complete this project. So recommending, right, Commissioner, to allow to reallocate those monies for the $9.9 million that we are needing. Is that correct, Dave?
Well, we have, for the
Yes.
COs, we have just 6.2 million available, is through COs. So what the court needs to discuss right now is through Commissioner Hernandez. He has American Rescue Plan funds available if you would like to relocate 3.5 million for this project.
Yes, I think that's what we talked about.
Okay.
Commissioner Chesney has a question also.
Thank you. That was really kind of where I was questioning was, it looks like what Commissioner Hernandez is doing is, I'm assuming because he's using, and I don't mean to assume, I'm assuming he's using these funds for, that he's putting some of the other funds towards drainage and then he's putting the ARPA towards this? Is that how I'm reading this right, Commissioner, or?
Yes, it is, Commissioner.
Okay, and have we checked, I guess, to make sure that these are ARPA that this would qualify for the ARPA since has Lulu signed off on this? That's all I'm wanting to make sure that these qualify, that we don't get you down the wrong path or anything like that. So that was really all I had questions for, was for Lulu or whoever, IDA or whatever, to make sure that these have been ARPA.
Yes, Commissioner.
These kind of funds can be.
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, Commissioner. Yes, we verified to make sure it complies with American Rescue Plan Act.
Okay, and we would just have to go through the procurement processes and
That's
bid it out.
correct. So the
and do all
next is
that.
just to do all the two CFRs, so just to make sure like everything is in compliance with American Rescue Plan.
Gotcha. So this then will get us to the amount needed to fully fund the base bid and the architect fee, right?
This is just for, and you, Juan, you will like, this is just to 9.8 million, Juan. I believe that we're gonna still need some funds for the architect. Could you just?
That's correct, Ade. I think this will get us to bidding out the project, but there's still probably gonna be some additional amount, dollars for the architect if they do the construction, administration part of the project. Am I correct in saying that?
So where does that come from?
Yeah.
Once what we wanted to do, Commissioner, is get the project out for bid, get the project completed so we can go out for bids and get the bids for these projects. And, knowing that we have these monies already for construction, however, the design and the actual construction, the actual design of the architect is already included into this to get it to that point, to the bidding process. Am I correct in saying that, David?
That is correct.
So,
Still doesn't,
so we're paying, in additional, whatever we're paying Mr. Richter right now, for, but he's doing the architect right now, right?
That's correct, Commissioner.
So, is there additional funds for?
Later, once it gets into, it goes out for bids, and David Richter is the construction administrator on the project. There's a fee in there that has been allocated as part of his original proposal.
$627,000?
No, sir, there's an additional amount for construction administration. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
$627,000
Gets
is
us-
what he's
gets
paying
us-
right now for the architect.
That
Right?
gets us to getting the project design and
Right.
bid it out. Yes, sir.
but not for their,
But now-
Teresa's on the
for
line,
the-
wants to clarify
For
something
the
for us.
fee, it's a separate thing that he's gonna manage.
The construction administration part of it is a separate, or an additional fee.
Ms. McLemore?
You said Teresa's online? I'm
Yes,
still a little
here she
confused
is.
on this. I'm
Here
sorry.
she is. We were
The-
on-
Teresa usually
Yes,
clears it
sir.
up for me.
The additional funds that's to be determined is like the bidding, negotiations, construction, and closeout for David Richter, which is estimated at an additional $600,000, that those funds have not been determined yet.
Correct.
So so what we've changed our policy to, if we remember, is that we wouldn't go out for bids on things without having fully funded them. So is this a violation of our policy? Do we need to address that now? And maybe I'm misinterpreting the policy, but I thought that was the policy the court passed when we went out for something and we didn't have funding, and we said we wouldn't go out for anything else unless we had all the funds allocated. Am I missing that, or is that wrong?
No, Commissioner, you are correct. We asked about the total dollar amount. It was given to us, like, it's gonna be 9.8 million. I believe, and Juan, you just helped, they were talking about a 10 million also. So we don't have the total amount that is to be determined. That's we were asking, and we didn't get it. So Juan, would you like to explain that to the court?
Which part of the day are you talking about? The
architect, that portion that we're missing.
The additional part, the allocated, the to be determined is the bidding and the negotiation part of the project, which from the architect. And then also the construction administration and the closeout of the project. So those are the ones, that's what's not included to date on this project, or on this total amount.
Well, so, because what I have in here, it says base bid 9.196, and then architect fee 627.4 479, which looks like, and I need to do quick math, but it looks like that totals the help, the two numbers below. So where's the extra coming in that, and I need to do the math, I guess, but it looks to me like, on here, we have it covered, but you're saying there's some extra that's not in here?
From the architect, Commissioner, it's going to be for them to assist us with the bidding and the negotiation part of the project, and the construction administration, and then the closeout documents, which is the substantial completion letters and all that other forms that need to be done at the end of the project.
It's 600,000 for that?
For the construction administration, Commissioner, it's part of their construction administration. I think they're assuming or estimating this project to be about a year and a half or so, if I'm correct in saying that, Rick, David? It's
Yes.
a year and a half,
Yes.
year and a half for a long project.
I'd like to make 600,000.
Okay, so,
Teresa
Right.
wants to clarify something as well.
go ahead.
Teresa?
Oops, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, Commissioner, you're correct. Right now, the amount that's allocated on the agenda item just covers the base bid and the additional funds that we need for the architect fee for this portion. And that
Okay.
gets you the $9.8 million. But once they go out for bid and they award and they do construction, we're gonna need an additional percentage of the total dollars for Richter to do the bidding negotiations, the construction, and the closeout, to actually be the construction person for the project. So that piece is not included in this number.
Right, but I don't understand that because, like, okay,
It could be
so
lower.
9.8 million. Let me just I'm trying to do my math here. 627,479 divided by the base bid of 9,196,863. Okay, so that's about 7% or something. So I'm trying to figure out where the extra is. Like, what does the contract call for? I thought the contract was a total for, what's the total percentage the contract calls for the architect?
Right, and Juan needs to talk about that because it's 14% within Richter's contract. But we're basing it right now on the total. Juan, you can address it. I mean, you know what he's asking.
Yes, Teresa, I can address that. On the contract, Commissioner, it was 14% of the total construction of the contract.
The architecture fees alone?
The architectural piece alone is 14% of the total construction of the project. So that's 14% of, I think originally it was 14 million. That's what it was estimated at the time when they were gonna do the full design of the whole facility. It was 14% of 14 million or 15 million.
It was actually 12.8.
12.8, okay, 12.8. So that was estimated with that 14%. We're at 9.92 million. One thing that we gotta remember is that, and talking to David, is that the original scope, and David should probably chime on this, but the original scope, which is the CDs, the construction or the construction development, was to, what court requested at the time was to go out and do the full design of everything. So initially, the dollar amount for the engineer, for the architectural service under that 14% was higher because he was designing for 12 point something million. But now that he's in the DDs, which is design development, it's gonna be a lesser amount, so that 14% is gonna be less than what the original cost should have been. So, and then one thing that we gotta remember, Judge and Commissioner, is that the $9.2 million is an estimated amount. It's not an actual construction dollar amount until when it goes out for bids, we'll know the actual true cost of this project. So the project might come in lower, hopefully, we're crossing our fingers, or, depending on what's gonna happen when this project gets bidded out. And it's kinda like we all say, right, the longer we wait, the more it's gonna cost us, right? So,
Now, is
you're
it 14%?
planning-
It's not just 14% for architect, it's architect
oh,
engineering.
yes, sir, Commissioner, and I'm sorry about that. Under the 14%, the way it's broken down is that you have your architectural fee in there, and then, of course, the architect goes out and hires the civil engineer, they go out and hire the geotechnical engineer, they hire the structure, the mechanical, the MEP, the landscape. So all those branches of engineering are included in the architectural fee.
And the
And
one.
if I may,
So,
if I'm,
hold on one second. So Ida, I need you to, I mean, you're the numbers person on this. This is not adding up to me, right? So can you
Correct.
shed some light on this and tell me what your perspective is on this and what you're recommending on this today? Because this is.
Yes, Commissioner. So I would
confusing for
recommend
me.
right now just to go back and look into the contract and the percentages that the contract assigned, because it's a 14% based on construction costs. And I asked the question, like, why every time that the construction cost is changing, we changing again the 14%? So that's my question that I have as well. I would like to see what is the total amount right now, because the contract is established, it's just 14% based on the construction cost, and this is the third time that we changing the construction cost. At the beginning, it was a 14 million, then we changed a 12 million. So the change in that fee that for the architect is like the first one, it was based on 14. We paid 606,000, and it was based on a 14 million, Commissioner. And then again, now they're changing it to a 12 million. So it's not consistent. And I would like just to see it with Juan again, and just to look into those percentages, to look into the number, just to make sense, and just to for the court, if that's okay.
So we've got two issues, it sounds like, today. One, Commissioner Hernandez needs to reallocate some funds, which we could do today, and get him continuing to move along because he's worked hard to get his thing done. And then the second issue would seem to be bifurcated, would be to maybe, and I don't know how to address that, is for IDA to be able to go back and bring back me a little, or the court, a more, on this cost, because I just want to make sure that what we're doing is following our policy, which is sending something out with fully funding, but what I'm hearing is we're not. And so that's my concern on this, is there's going to be extra costs that we're not allocating for today. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I would be totally comfortable reallocating the funds that Commissioner Hernandez wants to do, but then how do we send something out to bid if it's not fully funded right now? And IDA's got questions that I kind of am a little confused on too, on this percentages and why it's going to be more and all this other stuff. So I want to be able to get something done for Commissioner Hernandez, but this funding stuff doesn't adding up for me.
And Commissioner, just want to make sure that we're not, at this time, we're not requesting for this project to go out for bids. We're just requesting for this project to get up to the final design of the project, so we actually know what's going to be the actual final, I say estimated final cost of the project.
Okay, but so today all we're asking for is the reallocation of the
Of
funds?
his money.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I would happily support Commissioner Hernandez's reallocations of funds, but I definitely need some more information on this percentages and why there's going to be more, and so I don't know how to do it. So I've asked my question. If someone can give me some guidance on this, on how to move forward, I'd be happy to listen.
And that's all I've ever done, Commissioner, seek guidance from the persons that, do this all the time. And, this is all I ask for, is for proper guidance, and I've been told, it's workable, or it will work.
So basically, the motion we need for today is allocating your funds from the 2015, 16, 21, those COs, the money to help get you to this. You're not going out for bid or anything. We're just helping to get you to that point in your
So it
process.
includes the 21, 19, and the Hurricane Harvey funds, right? But also in the bottom it says reallocate ARPA funds for 660, Stonegate and Valley View. So those are gonna be reallocated to the project, right?
That's correct. That's the Commissioner. It was previously allocated to those two particular drainage projects, but now Commissioner Hernandez wishes to reallocate it to ARPA. I would like also to say that I will need to look also, because County Attorney pointed out, like, the contract with Richard, to make sure that it was through 2 CFR. So I need to pull that one as well, Commissioner. I know that the construction, it qualifies under under ARPA, but I need to look into the contract that we have with the architect to make sure, like, we did it through following ARPA as well,
He was way
to CFR.
Because he was way before the ARPA.
That's correct. So I just want to make sure like that one too, it has to make sure like we have that under 2 CFR.
That was my question to like, where do we drop, where do we pay him off and
Yeah.
continue?
So the
I'm
motion
sorry,
today
can I
would
have one more
be,
question,
yeah.
Jeff? Are we doing the whole, are we talking about the whole project here, or one wing or two wings, or what are we?
If I'm mistaken, Commissioner, it's 4 wings and then a new
whole
building
project.
in front,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
new
The whole
facility in front.
So it's not the whole
No, it's not the whole project as a whole, then we'd be looking about 60 million or more.
That's good, okay. Sorry.
So you're asking for a motion today to reallocate your ARPA funds to go to this project that's
Yes,
already been
yes, I am,
voted on?
Judge.
Is the vote, yes. I'm sorry, Lisa.
We will need a separate capital project budget change order to reallocate the funds, as well as a budget change order for the Hurricane Harvey settlement proceeds.
19.
So moved.
Second.
And regarding whether that project will qualify for ARPA, that we were not asked to evaluate that in our office, but I can say that on other projects, for instance, the pier, when there was a change along the way, when at the building blocks CFR was not complied with, that prevented the use of ARPA further down the road. So we would offer, if you'll give us the chance,
approved.
to help do that analysis to make sure that right now, the project as it stands will qualify for that chunk of ARPA funding.
That's what I've been told.
Okay.
I think Mr. Richter wanted to speak earlier.
I was just going to offer to clarify some of the questions related to the percentage fee. I recognize that you all may want to do some independent verification, and not just let me clarify, but if you like, I can actually shed a little bit of light on some of those sort of arithmetic questions. Should I go ahead?
Oh, yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that's more of a conversation
Go
for,
ahead.
I mean, if today we're not dealing with that,
Dealing
then
with that.
that's probably more of a conversation you need to have with Ida, because she's the one who's raised the questions that I agree, I've got some questions too, but if for today's simple motion that we're just reallocating the money from Commissioner Hernandez's ARPA funds, it just brought up other questions, so
Yeah.
whatever the judge wants to do.
Unless for a vote.
We'll ask for a vote on that. We have a motion and a second already for the reallocation of his ARPA funds with the clarification that they will be approved.
You mean with the clarification that
They
they
are
qualify
allowable.
and they're allowable?
They qualify,
Gotcha.
not be approved, yes, qualify and allowable.
I would accept that as part of my motion.
Okay, and we have the motion and the second, they accepted that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign? Oh, yes.
Teresa has her hand up.
Teresa,
Excuse me,
would you
Judge,
like to, yes, speak to us?
I just wanted to clarify, so we approved the reallocation of the ARPA monies. Are we also okay with the reallocation of all the capital COs?
It was just
CO
the-
project
Right
funds?
now we are.
Well, the rest of those aren't reallocations, Teresa. I just saw a
Those are
reallocation of
just
program
allocation.
management services, but the rest of them have already been allocated, right?
No, the ones on the bottom for Commissioner Precinct 1 funds, the 3.5, he's reallocating that total, but it consists of the COs as well as the 2.9 ARPA monies.
Right, that was all
So
part of
any-
the motion. It was
Okay,
whatever he had reallocated all of the ARPA and
What was it
whatever his
qualified?
Commissioner 1 precinct funds, that 3.5 million. That was what my
Awesome.
motion was intended
Included.
to be,
Okay.
if that's what
Okay.
you're asking.
yes, sir, that is correct. Thank you.
Okay, good clarification. And Commissioner Hernandez, great job. This is going to be a phenomenal project. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate everybody's help here, cooperation, and it will be a good thing for Precinct 1 and the community. Thank y'all.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, C1, Public Works, you're still up. Receive an update from ABM regarding the Nueces County Courthouse Jail Boiler System. Discuss and consider action related to project completion and related matters.
Let me, we're gonna have ABM update Commissioners Court, Judge. I think they're outside.
Yes.
Robert,
How you doing? Any topic you want to start first with? The boilers or the mechanical are your two topics?
That's,
It
I would
says,
start with the
jail
boilers.
boilers, it
Yeah,
says there.
that's the big hot topic right now.
Okay. On the boilers, I have been personally back in this week. We met with the team with Juan and his group yesterday. We also had another work session in the afternoon. So at a high level with the boilers, the item with that is the change out of the relief valves. And that would be changing the relief valves from the 30 PSI down to the 15 PSI relief valve. At this moment, we've provided documentation from the boiler manufacturer, third-party engineer. Also, at the end of the day, we provided another letter to help streamline and simplify what the request is, separating the relief valves from some additional items. That letter was issued out at the end of the day yesterday. I'm not sure if the county has had a chance to review that, but that was one of the last letters that was coming by from Ron Wheaton, the engineer of record. So at this point, we're on standby, just waiting to get confirmation that we can get that completed. We can be in compliance with TDLR and to prevent any future actions, which ultimately we'd be coming down into red tag or shutting the boilers down.
I was in on a meeting with y'all yesterday afternoon too, and I think beforehand there was a lot of confusion. I think moving forward after the meeting we had yesterday, I think the communication is a big issue. It's a big issue with our jail. We cannot go forward and make plans to do anything without communicating with the jail and without meeting. I believe y'all were gonna go over there after you left my office and meet with them. I hope that was enlightening and helped you out some. I wish all of that stuff would have been done previously. I did speak to Juan again this morning, and we talked a lot about the job and the performance, and I would recommend that we allow you to go ahead and change out the PSI from the 30 to the 15, along with the request that this be a regular communication and update with the same group, with Public Works, with the Sheriff's Office, with everyone that was involved in that room. Anything going forward, I think we can better work together to get this job finished. I know we're at the last point. A lot of people are in a hurry. A lot of people are antsy. But we have to move forward with communication and understanding that shutting down our jail, moving 70 of our inmates is not acceptable, is not going to work. I know we talked yesterday, one of the comments about, well, if they red tag our boilers, it was going to be $5,000 a day. Moving 70 inmates is a whole lot more than $5,000 a day, so
Agreed.
that is not acceptable. So I hope that y'all worked with our people over at the jail and you came up with a better plan. That, after the lengthy meeting and talks, that's what I would recommend to the Commissioners Court to do today. So, but it's up to the commissioners. That would be my motion, to allow you to go ahead with those stipulations, that the communication be better, that you work together.
Well, it doesn't say anything, Judge. All it says to give, they all gonna do the presentation, that's it.
Well, it says, and related action to project completion,
Oh, related
consider
matters?
action
So
to
what's the-
project
So
completion.
what's the related matter?
Yeah. So I don't know if we have to vote, but that, I strongly suggest schedules. I know we're in the construction business, and weighted schedules are pretty much standard in large companies and large jobs. I don't know if that was ever provided till LAN in the past. I know Mr. Pimentel said he has asked for them previously and never received them, so please, let's work on better communication and better results. And when we ask for something, we need it for a reason, just like yesterday, the sheriff being there. It's not a light matter, it's a very major matter, so.
Understood. Just for clarity, so the valves, we will move forward with change out of valves. We do know what the second request is, and that package is being pulled together. As far as the communication, I agree 100% with you. You know, from past program manager to now, we have a team. You had the team assembled there, which was great. So moving forward, I did speak with Juan yesterday with Rick Getz, who is our Vice President of ATS of our PMO group. So we understand what the direction of the communication line is, working with the county. But on the jail, we also know it on the jail side as well. We did have a productive meeting walkthrough afterwards. We understood some of the constraints that he's under, there, the downtime. So we actually had a initial discussion with our project team this morning, talking about the temporary measures, also some other measures of removing equipment to try to gauge the pros and cons of everything. What does temporary measure mean with downtime? So rather than being down, say, 12 days, how do we limit that where it may just be 2 hours for a transition? But we will work closely with the jail from this point moving forward. We do know what the action is, so that we will be compliant with that.
I have two questions. Downtime for us is not days, that's out.
We understood that yesterday.
So the other thing is that, do we have a timeline when we're gonna replace those valves from the 30 to 15?
Yeah, the valves, I will check with our team now with the green light, if they're able to start tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll probably be Monday. There's a total of 3 boilers. We are starting with boiler number 3 first. That one is down at the moment. It's 3 days, approximately 3 days to complete each boiler with the method that we have in place
So
right
we
now.
have 2 weeks.
Correct. And in that is changing the relief valves, and then we will also be changing the stamps, the seals that are posted on the boilers, so that we're all in compliance, that we can get TDLR back in, do their final inspection, sign off, and we can move on.
So we don't need a vote on action or anything, Commissioner?
I don't know, I don't think we need a motion on that.
This is just an update.
Is that, just one, let me ask a question to one. One, is that, pretty much what y'all agreed on? I'm looking here, he said 2 weeks, should do the 30 to 15, and the PSI valves, right? And the seals. So, can we have that in writing somewhere?
Yes, sir, and I'm gonna request that from Robert here, just to give us a schedule that we can have. I know we received a letter this morning, from Mr. Wheaton regarding this matter. So, yes, it's gonna be 3 days, and then 3 days for one, and then 3 days for the other one. However, it would be good to have that as part of a letterhead from Mr. Brisland. One thing that I do request from ABM is that they continuously work 3 days on the relief valves, and not walking. Yeah, it's continuous.
Spend 10 days, is like, yeah.
Continuous, right.
this-
So it'll
once
be
you
a
start-
continuous construction of the relief valves, and that's one thing that I do request from ABM when they're performing this task, is that they're continuously working on the project and not off and on.
Sure, have you got anything you want to say on this?
Not about the boilers.
No?
What I will add also, what we want to do with the communication going forward is, we're doing 3, 2, and 1 in sequence. What I would suggest, Juan, is when we complete 3, not to create downtime, but what I'd like to do is we complete 3, make sure your group reviews it, rather than taking boiler number 2 out, 3's up, and maybe some people approved or didn't approve. So I just go through a clear sequence. I like to do 3, have it reviewed as we're getting ready to start up number 2, so that there's no miscommunication or understanding. But I just like to work on both sides.
Makes
Well, I'd
sense.
just like to Gene, do we have to make a motion to have Juan work with ABM on the agreement, the timelines, and everything else that we need to do?
I don't think you need to make a vote on that. If the court had taken some other action, then that would need a vote, but as it stands, I believe the court is good.
Okay. So Juan, just make sure you'll get this thing in writing.
Yes, sir, I just talked to Robert about it. Thank you, Commissioner.
Excuse me, Juan,
Yes, sir.
will you be responsible for inspecting the boilers?
Yes, sir, it'll be our staff, and then it'll also be, I'll have Govan with us to assist us with the mechanical part.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
In the meeting yesterday, we discussed everyone in there, the communication between all. Govan was there, the sheriff's department was there, Public Works was there, my office was there, and ABM. So that communication needs to stay on everything, so thank you very much. If that's all we have on the boilers, we want to move on to item number 2. That's still ABM, receive an update regarding the Nueces County Jail air handling units and smoke purge system.
So high level, because things did, the dynamic changed a little bit yesterday. High level is the equipment was received right around the last week of January. So that we did have a team meeting that included the sheriff and captain. So we discussed that with some of the parameters of what works, what doesn't work, mostly what won't work on their side with the inmates. So we're reevaluating that schedule based on a team meeting I had this morning. So hopefully, in say a week's duration, I could come back, schedule another meeting to talk about what are the different options we can be doing with temporary measures just to gain some insight and acceptance, and then we can update that schedule accordingly. It was offered from the captain's side with escorts. Initially, we were understood that we were going to be doing a combination of escorts from the jail and Public Works. And as we discussed that yesterday, they offered that they can provide the escorting to allow us to work more than just a first shift. So we have that in consideration as well, that we can do multiple shifts along with working with the escorts on their side.
Sheriff, did you want to comment about this one, or did y'all want to comment? I know.
We gotta take the mic.
The microphone?
Yeah, we will be going through that process.
Our concern is that we want to maintain compliance with jail standards, and that the commission has been advised, and that we have clarification from them that this is a maintenance-only project, or if it is in fact not a maintenance project, but will need to be approved by them. And that's going to require submissions on their part. That's all we want to make sure of.
Robert, real quick. Judge and Commissioner, what I wanted to add on that is that since the sheriff is going to be providing, their manpower to kind of assist with this project, and they're going out of their way, and this should be a 24-hour construction from ABM in order so that way to get the full.
Minimize the time down.
Yeah,
to
yes,
get us in
ma'am.
and out
So it
of
should be
there.
a 24/7.
I totally agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And we were very clear about, we couldn't do all 3 at once. We were going to have to do one and then go the other side and one.
Yeah, that's what was discussed yesterday.
With the moving
Contractually,
of the
it
inmates.
was outlined differently.
Yeah.
But moving what was discussed yesterday, we'll bring all that back as to what we're up against.
Okay.
And I didn't see the sheriff here, but we did have I thought a good initial kickoff yesterday, knowing what the parameters are moving forward. In reference to the jail standards, what we discussed yesterday is we will work as a team to make sure that we have both from the sheriff and the captain on par as to what the work is, so that we're not doing any surprises with the submission, that we can provide the submittals of our equipment, submittals of what some of the design is, what the impact or what the intent is, so that we're going in properly to gain the right approval, whether it's a maintenance review or if it's another type of review process. So we'll gain that, understand what that schedule is, and then we'll work that so it minimizes the impact on their staff along with the inmates.
so the air handle units will be a 24/7 one.
It was discussed that, I can't agree, I can agree that we will work multiple shifts. The only thing I'm trying to get back from our vendors is, with the manpower that's out there, the employees, is there something that would allow that number of individuals working 3 shifts? 2 shifts is usually a definite that you can pull off, but I just need confirmation from them that the manpower and the individuals that they have will work that a third shift.
So we're definitely gonna have 2 shifts, but we're working on 3.
Yeah, we're gonna be working, sometimes what you have is you have 3 8-hour shifts. Sometimes you can work it that you have 10-hour shifts. So it's a plan that's in process. I don't have that full update just with the dynamic of what our discussions yesterday were.
How soon can we get that plan, you know?
I'm gonna be back here again in person. I have it scheduled for in 2 weeks, but we're looking to be doing actions going into next week to be able to go into the second week with more detailed information. So it's gonna be yesterday as we started with conversations this morning with the project team. So it's not gonna be sitting idle. It has a lot of visibility on it from our team.
Okay, make sure we get that also one in writing.
Any other questions, commissioners?
No, I'm good, Judge. I'm
Okay.
satisfied with what I've heard.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the update, and we really appreciate the cooperation moving forward, so thank you. Moving on, item 3, discuss and consider approval of certificate of substantial completion for the Calderon Building roof replacement.
Judge and Commissioners, Public Works is recommending the approval of the certificate of substantial completion for the Calderon building roof replacement project. The project is complete, and we're recommending approval.
So move.
Motion to
Second.
Hey, Sheriff.
approve and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Something is
Aye.
finalized. C4, discuss and consider approval of the certificate of substantial completion for the Calderon Building Clinic renovation.
Judge, Commissioners, Public Works is recommending approval of the substantial completion letter for the Calderon Building Clinic renovations. The project is complete, and we're recommending approval.
Motion.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. Another one down. Yay.
One, the other thing that I want to meet with you later is on the awning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everything's complete inside, but I'm working on the awning.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Item number 5, discuss and consider selection of Turner Ramirez Architects for architectural services for the Precinct 5.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. Moving on.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Juan.
To D1 purchasing. Discuss and consider conditional selection for RFQ number 3222-22 engineering services for community development block grant.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
To approve and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Item number D2, discuss and consider conditional selection for RFQ 3223-22 architectural services for community development block grant.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. And the motion passes. Thank you.
Sorry, I needed to be on video to register my eye. My apologies.
Oh, okay. The motion passes. Thank you, Commissioner Chesney. Item number 3, discuss and consider making a finding for the method of procurement request for proposals for grant management services for disaster recovery, ARPA, COVID and FEMA public assistance and program funds.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Thank you. You got
Okay.
away lightly.
Thank you, and thank you to my staff for helping to make these things go
Good job.
smoothly.
Good job.
Very good job.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes. For the auditor now, item E1, approve capital project change order number 118.
I respectfully request the discussion and approval of capital project budget change order number 118. We are reallocating funding for the Keach Library HVAC that has been previously approved by Commissioners Court from the fairgrounds. We're also reallocating additional funding to cover the courthouse jail generators in the McKinsey Annex, also previously approved by Commissioners Court. and the sheriff's law enforcement personnel security equipment, all of which were discussed in the last court. And it was recommended that they would use for the equipment portion, the PFCO funds from 2022. Does anyone have any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And item number 2, approve budget change order number 08 for fiscal year 2022-2023.
I also respectfully request the approval of budget change order number 8. We are reallocating additional funds for the district court to cover the temporary costs due to transitional personnel, as well as we're requesting approval for the sheriff's department. They currently have $85,000 available in salary savings due to vacancies of the staff as previously discussed earlier today. They would like to reallocate some of those funds to help offset the cost of their temporaries, as well as an interlocal agreement that they have. That interlocal agreement will need to be added to the budget for the following budget year, so that it is budgeted appropriately.
Interlocal agreement with
Interlocal agreement with,
transport.
it is with Port, I believe that it's with Aransas Pass, Port Aransas?
For the transports?
No, it is not for the transports. It is with San Patricio County. It is an ongoing interlocal agreement, and whenever the budget was revised for the new, MetroCom, it wasn't allocated, so it had been added to the agenda, but then MetroCom, it was only budgeted for MetroCom, and they forgot that there's also another interlocal agreement with San Patricio County. And so it was an omission. It needs to be, so that we need to be sure to budget it for next year.
Okay, so move.
We have a
Second.
motion. Did you second, Commissioner Hernandez?
Yes,
I'm
I did.
sorry. A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Moving on to F, Human Resources. Discuss and consider the approval to use salary savings generated by a current vacancy to cover the cost of reclassifications for the remainder of 2022-23 to reduce social services 4110 operating budget.
That's my
So
department.
moved.
Yes, we have a motion. I'll second that motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Thank you, Rebecca, for staying. Item E, I think we need to take to executive session because we didn't
Yeah.
get to discuss, so.
Yeah.
F2, I said
I
E.
might want to table that one, but I don't know. But
F2, we'll discuss in executive
executive
session.
session.
Yes, okay. So now we're going to executive session. I believe we're ready to do that at 11:37.
Hey, time out, hold on.
Yeah,
hold on.
sorry.
So, clarification on the discuss, deliberate, and make selection of Director of Human Resources. My understanding is that does not have to go into the same rules as executive session. That can be a deliberation, and it's a personnel matter, and therefore would fall differently and would not have to be under the same vein of recording, because this is not attorney-client privilege. This is personnel deliberation, and that's a different category. So Jenny, I need a little clarification on that. Because
Oh, that's right, because we did our interviews back there. It wasn't recorded in that, and we didn't
Yeah.
get to discuss. You're right.
I could discuss this with the court during executive session, the law related to this, if that would be appropriate.
no, because the law appropriate to it, but I mean, before we call it into executive session, I need to know if it needs to be called into executive session, because she's fixing to read off a whole litany of.
Yeah, I don't want to have to do that twice and call it back.
Yeah, because I don't think, or if we need to make a motion not to record this particular part, because this isn't attorney-client privilege, in my opinion, deliberating on, we've never had that before. We've had to deliberate with attorney-client privilege or an attorney in the room or anything like that. So shouldn't be an executive session, but I don't know. So, I mean, you can,
Well, in summary, in executive session, we could either use a certified agenda, which is what the court previously used, or we could record it. So instead of recording, we could use a certified agenda.
what does that mean again?
The
I'm sorry.
certified agenda is what the court traditionally used for the past several years, where there's a document where
the exceptions are listed and that are being applied and that it gets kept by I believe the county attorney used to keep them. So that's the alternative to recording.
Okay. To use a certified agenda, say that one more time. You said it real fast, and I'm sorry, I couldn't
The
hear.
alternative to recording an executive session is to use a certified agenda, which is a 1 to 2 page document that just explains the exception that is used in executive.
Right, what I'm saying is this even executive session?
Oh,
Or is it,
is this something that can be done out in
here?
public? Yes, it is something that can be
Does
done
it-
out here in public. In
no,
addition
no,
to,
if it goes to executive, if it goes to deliberation and it's considered executive session, is what you're saying, then that's, okay, that's fine. In that executive session, we can choose to have or not have recording or not have an attorney in there because this isn't attorney-client privilege kind of thing. This is just
correct.
a deliberation on a personnel matter. So you're saying then we would just make a motion now to do it as if we chose to do a certified, whatever you
Correct.
call certified agenda on this particular item?
Yes,
And I would put that to the court's consideration because this is different. This is a personnel matter. This doesn't, you know,
But we could
I
still
don't
come
think it-
back out and if there is a decision, make a decision or announce something on it if we go in and deliberate.
We're not discussing anybody, we're just discussing the application, right?
or deliberating on the two
Oh, and it
finalists.
says,
okay.
and
Oh, that's
possibly
what we're
make
talking
a
about.
selection.
I thought we were talking about the one.
No.
Okay, I got you,
Um,
I got you. I don't know, I think we should
So-
go, I think we should go behind doors.
We should go behind doors and we should,
Use a certified agenda on that
yes,
particular item?
and not record, yes.
yes. And that would be under 551.103, certified agenda or recording required. So there, the court would be using a certified agenda.
Right, so I would then make the motion to do the deliberation and selection, or the deliberation of the Director of Human Services as a certified agenda and not a recorded executive session because it's completely different.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. So now we are ready to go into, or we do this and come back and go to executive, or can we do executive now too?
It's all executive, Judge. It's
Okay.
just a different kind of executive,
Yes,
right?
okay.
Francisco, is
So-
that right?
It is 11:42. I am calling for executive session. Public notice is given that the Commissioners Court may elect to go into executive session anytime during the meeting to discuss matters listed anywhere on the agenda when authorized by the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, to the extent there has been a past practice of distinguishing items for public deliberation and those for executive session. The public is advised that the court is departing from that practice and reserves the right to discuss any listed agenda items in executive session when authorized by law to do so. In the event the Commissioners Court elects to go into executive session regarding an agenda item, the section or sections of the Open Meetings Act authorizing the executive session will be publicly announced by the presiding officer. In accordance with the authority of Government Code, Vernon's Texas Code, Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, 551.0745, 551.076, 551.086, 551.087, the Commissioners Court will hold an executive session to consult with attorneys, including matters related to litigation, deliberate regarding real property, prospective gifts, personnel matters, including termination, county advisory bodies, security devices, and/or economic development negotiations, and other matters that may be discussed in an executive session. Upon completion of the executive session, the Commissioners Court may, in an open session, take such action as appropriate on the items discussed in an executive session. Item A, we will be, consult with the county attorney pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, regarding settlement agreement of Mary Alexandra Medina's employment grievance against the Nueces County Medical Examiner's Office resulting from Ms. Medina's termination on August 12, 2022. Item B, consult with the county attorney about legal matters regarding the settlement in case number 2021 DCV 4839-8, the estate of William R. Durrell, Senior, deceased with Nueces County, Texas, and ABM Building Services, Inc., authorized expedited issuance of settlement check and related matters, Texas Government Code 551.071.
And Your Honor, if I may, I believe the court is also going to deliberate the selection of the Director of Human Resources, and that would be under 551.074.
I thought we just said we were going to do that certified. Is that different now, too?
It would be an executive as well, and the certified agenda is used it appears that the court wants to use a certified
Discuss,
agenda for that.
Deliberate and make selection of Director of Human Resources as per 551.074.
074. Yes.
So sorry. It is 12:35 and we are coming back into open session. On 5A, discuss and take necessary action to finalize settlement agreement of Mary Alexander Medina's termination on August the 2nd.
I make a motion to execute the settlement agreement of Mary Alexandra, is that her?
Alexandra
Alexandra.
Medina.
As the recommendation by the county attorney.
I second that motion. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimous. Item 5AB, discuss and consider authorizing settlement in case of 2021 DCV 4839-H, the estate of William R. Durrell Senior, deceased versus Nueces County, Texas, and ABM Building Services, Inc., authorize expedited issuance of a settlement check and related matters.
Judge, would make a motion that we settle the matter. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
I'm sorry. Make a motion that we settle the matter in the amount of $18,000 with a non-suit with prejudice, and that the check be written and delivered in 14 days.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. We need
And
to,
that payment is approved for early release by the county clerk's office so that we can, so
Yes.
that the payment can be released upon issuance. Is
So
that
moved.
correct?
So moved.
Thank you.
do we need to have a motion? and a
Second.
Uh-huh. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, going back first, we have two more items to do on the regular agenda, Public Works 3C1. There is also an extension that they're requesting. It's from Bank of America, our extension for the job completion. The extension was approved last year in April. The court did approve this. That extension goes through March 31st, I think, of this year. The new request is for an extension of 120 days. The final letter of extension will be provided by the county attorneys, and they do not have it finalized yet, but we're asking for y'all's permission for me to sign when they present it. The issue with this is if we don't sign the extension, then what I've been told is the money left over will go back in to pay on the principal, and we're down to what, $7 million, I think, left on the $32 million job, and we will not be able to finish the job. So they're asking for another extension.
Motion for the extension.
Second.
We have
Discussion.
a discussion, yes.
I've been having a hard time agreeing to that, but I don't know, maybe I will, but I just, we've been playing around with ABM for a long time now, and they're really fed up with this work that they're doing and performance, and I think we need to really look at the bond. There's a reason for a bond, and if we don't use that bond, there's a purpose for it. I think we need to actually look into the fact that if it's poor performance, not meeting timelines and everything else, and not being on the job site. I think we need to, look at how can we use that bond to, if we do decide to terminate him, down the road, which I'm just talking for myself. I'm just saying, we gotta start looking at the contractors that have bonds and start utilizing those bonds if we have to. So, I'm just saying, the extension is good, but in between the extension, if something occurs that we're not really happy with it, something continues to go wrong, and especially the work, I think we need to really, really seriously look at the bond and see how we can actually come back and utilize those monies to pay for what we need to pay for.
I agree, and earlier in our discussions, we put, and Juan and the whole team is more in charge than communication. So I think that is absolutely something that we can look at if it continues to be a problem with their finishing and scheduling and not doing the job.
Okay.
Excuse me, Judge, I believe
Yes.
I second that motion. I want to remove that.
You want to remove your second?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have a motion from Commissioner Chesney to allow me to sign after the county attorney presents it to be to our advantage to sign the 120-day extension. I will make the second for that motion, and if there's any other discussion?
I think the point on this, Judge, is that you've made, that we're all uncomfortable with ABM at this point, but what I'm not wanting to happen is that we're short $7 million because we have to pay back this loan. If we don't file this extension, then we're gonna have to come up with another $7 million somewhere, is the way it's been explained to me. And that's the only reason that
Also
I'm.
finish the jobs that are still
Right.
not completed, yes.
Right, so if
None of
if
us
we
are
don't.
happy with this, no.
Right, if we don't, because, and so, yeah, I agree with everything that's been said on the bond and looking at ABM. But I think the public needs to understand that if we don't vote for this extension, then we have to pay the loan back, right, for up to $7 million, and we could then be $7 million short on other projects. So that's the reason I'm agreeing to it today, not because I agree with or like what ABM has done, but because I don't want to leave the county in a $7 million hole.
And not just other projects. These are projects that are partially completed that we would have to come in and finish. These are jobs on the list that they should have done, yes.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign?
I'll go in the eye, but I just need to look at it for the next,
And I agree with your
next 30
comments,
days or
absolutely,
45
yes,
days.
yes,
see how they do. You would
Okay.
bring it back to court.
yes.
Okay, aye.
Then go into item F2, discuss, deliberate, and make selection of a Director of Human Resources.
At this time, the court makes a motion to make the selection of Mr. Timothy W. Sally as the next Director of Human Resources.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Are there any adjournments in memory?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead,
have one.
Commissioner.
I'd like to, in memory of Judge Robert Bobby Gonzalez, mom passed away. Emilia Hernandez Gonzalez. She was a long lifetime resident of Robstown, very much involved in politics because her son, but even before her son, she ran a little store there in Robstown that everybody went to, and really, she was always willing to help somebody else out, always willing to give a helping hand. And I know that her and Judge Gonzalez were real close to each other, and I know he's going to miss her quite a bit. But my condolences and prayers go out to the judge, his family, and all the other family members. May she rest in peace. Amen.
Amen. Absolutely. Any others? There being no others, it is 12:44, and the meeting is adjourned.